So I wanted to do a reading on some guidance for when we're just having an off day. Our day is just, maybe it's not going that well. Maybe, it could just be better, right? So let's go ahead and do a reading on that. I have another setup that I'm working on here, and I want to see how this works. So, it's just, I'm wanting to make sure that you guys are close enough to the cards, and that the lighting is good, because sometimes, I'm not able to do a reading till after work. So, but we shall see. So first I wanted to cleanse our space for just a moment. So if you have any sensitivity to sound, then just turn down the volume for just a moment, okay? Spirit, we ask that you bring us guidance on what we're asking about today. That was a baby one. There we go. Help us to know, at least where to start when we're having a bad day. And just give us some guidance, maybe some things that, that we can do for ourselves. Just anything that we would need to know. So we certainly appreciate it. And I thank you so much for the wisdom that you bestow upon me, my gifts, my voice, so that if I'm able to help just one person, or collectively, if we put our energy into really helping each other, that's what matters, right? So we are going to start. So that's the theme. What kind of guidance can we get today when we're having an off day? And I have a couple little paper decks here. This one is Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reed. Make sure you can see that. So, what kind of guidance do you have for us, Spirit? Calling the guidance and intuition and little nudges from our higher self, Spirit, universe, all of our ancestors, beings of the light, our spirit team, whoever would like to step up and help us. Spirit is always helping us, but sometimes he just, has to go through a certain channel in order for us to hear. Okay? You're funny, Spirit. Maybe just a couple more cards so we can get a feel for the message. See what you would like for us to know. The first one out is number 1, Earth Magic. Yeah, that's a good one. See how she's grounded? Sometimes we might need to do that, get in the grass, get on the ground. Because really when we do that, the earth really is so magical in the way that it just helps us stay calm. So I would say, especially being this number 1, the first thing to do, the first order of guidance when we're having an off day is to get grounded. Put our feet in the earth, hug a tree, literally. There's some stars on here, so maybe get out at night and just sit and talk to the moon. Nothing wrong with that, right? Sit and talk to the moon. Ask the moon and the stars for some guidance. you know. I don't know if that's the only one that's going to come out or not. These cards are great cards. Maybe just not right this minute. Maybe later. All right. So we'll hang on to that one. I'm also going to go ahead. I have some charms and a couple of letters and stuff. So we'll do that in a little while. Okay. Let's see what's next. Let's do this one next. This is Energy Oracle Cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Okay. Let's see. We'll keep this book out in case we need to use the book for today. How do I do this? Let's just do it this way. I'm working with limited space here. All right. Thank you, Spirit, for your guidance. I hope everybody's having a good day. If you haven't and you're feeling a little off, just know that it's okay. I had an off day too. The energy just seemed, let me see if I can describe it other than the words off. The energy seemed not heavy. It seemed uncooperative. There's one. Let's say that. It seemed a little uncooperative. And you know, sometimes we can get good sleep, you know, get a good many hours, 7 to 8 hours. Nothing really major happens during the day, like earlier that morning. But sometimes there can just be something that disrupts our flow. And it happens, right? It happens. Okay. So next we have, let's put this over here. I want to make sure you can still see it. Number 44, Woman Holding a Heart. Here is number 45, Man Holding a Heart. Number 8, Indecision. And first chakra, Archangel Michael. That is, do you see how the red is lit up in this area right here? That's the root chakra. That's your base chakra, right? And if the root chakra is not balanced, you have a tendency to feel very ungrounded. Hello. You have a tendency to not feel safe, maybe not safe in your body, not safe with other people. You're more prone to a sense of loss, you know. And Archangel Michael is amazing. I call on Archangel Michael all the time if I'm needing to clear my space, if, you know, there's a situation there to where I'm not, like, I've done everything on my end, you know, trying to wish someone well, or, you know, if it has to do with a job or something like that, I try to make sure that I keep my vibration high, so that I'm not lowering myself to other people's standards. Not that I'm better than anybody else, but you know what I mean. If you have a coworker that is just not being very nice, and, you know, you're sitting there staring at her and you're just thinking, you be, you this, you that, and, you know, all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's lowering your vibration. And that's not going to do anything for you, right? So I'm not saying that you need to just be a doormat and let people walk all over you. But what I do in any situation that is bothering me, that I feel like I don't know what to do, I need some guidance, you know, I call in my higher power, the universe, and I really call on Archangel Michael, and I say, you know what, Archangel Michael, I have done just about everything on my end that I could possibly do. I'm going to let you and the universe go ahead and take it from here. You handle it for the greater good of everybody, for the good of better good of all. And then I just let it go. You know, if I need to journal about it, I journal. If there's any guidance that comes through, great. So, but I have a feeling here that, here, let me move these down so that you can see them. I have a feeling that for somebody, this is a situation of love. But isn't it funny? Do you not see here? There's red in the root chakra. There's red in the indecision card with her gown. I'm hoping that that's not too dark and that you can see it with her little hood. Indecision, not knowing which way to go. And then there's a man holding a heart. There's red leaves on the tree, and he's holding a red heart. And then there's the woman who is holding a heart, and there's more pink in this, but the heart is also red. So there's a lot of grounding. And look how we have these all in a row. The first card out was grounding. Maybe this is the only card that we need, Earth Magic. So if there's a decision that needs to be made around love, you know, maybe it's love for yourself. Maybe there's a relationship thing that's going on, you know. And it's so funny because this card is 44, which equals 8. This is the indecision card, which has the number 8 on it. This is Archangel Michael, which is also an 8. 5 and 3 add up to 8. The only one that doesn't add up to 8 is this one, which adds up to a 9. So, you know, and the number 8 is about creativity and abundance. So maybe there's, I mean, you'll know. If this isn't resonating for you, then don't try to make it fit. If you have a really, really good relationship and you just are absolutely solid and, you know, you spend time together and, you know, there's no issues. If there is an issue, you work it out. Then maybe you're just supposed to ground yourself in another area. Maybe there's something about love. Maybe your love, something is going on in your family. Maybe, you know, it's the love that you have for yourself. Maybe you're not treating yourself very nicely, okay? So those are some things to think about. Okay, well, you still can't see this one, can you? All right, let's put these here. And let's see, what else? This came from this deck. We have another paper deck, and it's called Story Cards. And it's by Kathy Nichols. I ordered these, I think I got these off of Temu, believe it or not. And they're hand painted. And it says 70 hand painted cards and an instruction booklet, which there's no instruction booklet whenever you order these off of Temu. Anyway, so I love these cards though. You know, don't knock the paper decks, you guys. Don't knock those. You know, there's a lot of good messages, at least that I found. Oh, this is one. So let's see what these have to say. Because you know Spirit is going to make all this make sense, right? And that was horrible, horrible shuffle. But that's okay. Let's see what else we got here. Let me see if maybe I can make this just a little, maybe that'll work better for us. What do you think? All right. Maybe you can see a little bit better, a little bit more of a view. Okay. It's a work in progress, guys. I think I'm going to order another little thing that has a light on it, and I don't know. I'll figure this out. But the point is, we're still going to keep going. That's our point. Okay. Spirit, what other kind of guidance? And maybe, I believe that everything that happens during a reading is a sign. So maybe whatever you're feeling, you're having an off day, maybe you just need a little bit of an adjustment. Just something. Maybe you need to try and see if you can do make a different work schedule. Maybe you could do something to help with a little more efficiency in your day. Maybe get some things ready the night before so you don't feel rushed, that next morning. It can be almost anything, but let's see what else we've got. We've got this deck, and we've got one more deck, and then we'll pull some charms. All right. Spirit, guides, angels, our whole spiritual team, ancestors, beings of the light. Thank you for being here with us and guiding us towards what we can do to help us when we're having an off day. Because if we know about these things ahead of time, maybe the whole day doesn't have to feel like it's off. Maybe we can course correct at some point, You just never know. But that's just my thoughts, Sometimes, one bad thing happens. Maybe this might be enough. Let's see if anything else needs to come out. And I used to be that way. One bad thing that would happen, and that was it. I had it in my mind that the rest of my day was going to be the crappiest day ever, and that, and then I'd call. Then you got to call. You know how you got to do. You got to call 15 people and vent. And in which case, what are you doing? I feel like this one needs to come out. It wants to come out too. Oh, Lord. And then what are you going to do? You got to call 15 people. You got to vent. And you got to get everybody to, oh my gosh, that would have bothered me too, and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of cards that want to come out of this deck, so we're going to take them. All right, so here were the first ones that wanted to come out. There's Mother. Okay. And so this could be a lot of red here. Grounded, leaves, growth, right? This next one, this has got to be about love. It's got to be. This next one is Surfer, going in the water, getting grounded. So I don't know if any guys are watching, if you surf. Or maybe someone is in a relationship with a surfer, no clue. Next card is Adoration. A lot of blue in that card. This looks like it might be spring, and we're still in spring here in the United States. So Adoration. The next card that flipped out was Trust. And that one looks like it's nighttime, right? Maybe you're asking for some guidance. Maybe, at night, maybe that's your favorite time to be with your significant other. This next one is Nature Boy. This has got to be about love, guys. It is, I don't know. I guess that I'm reading for someone who is having an off day with their person. There's a lot of green and blue. Maybe, I don't necessarily just have to read for women, but, and this last card is Serenity. So, Serenity is, I'll put this over here. Serene, calm, right? Grounded. So this is certainly not what my intention was, but evidently there is somebody out there who is having an off day, and you know, they can either be maybe expecting a baby, and maybe there's some choices that need to be made. You know, maybe some issues with trust. Maybe they're either a surfer or they like nature, or both. I mean, nature is kind of being in water. But overall, I feel like you're just wanting peace. That's really all that you're wanting. You know, peace in a decision that you're getting ready to make. Peace in some sort of a relationship. It may not be the one that you're in now. But that's what we have so far. I mean, I can't help the way that the direction that these take, the turn that they take. Let's see if this one is called Reflect. This deck here, and it is by RYVE. So let's see what these have to say. And these have some really good questions. So maybe for whoever this reading is for, here, let me put these over here and this one over here. Maybe whatever, okay, well, there we go. Maybe there is whatever pops out here. Maybe, I mean, not maybe, I shouldn't say maybe. These are the messages. We asked for messages, we asked for guidance, and we're getting it. And this may not pertain to a whole lot of people, but whoever it's meant for, it'll be meant for. Okay, now that is interesting, because when I flip this card over, it is definitely we're gonna layer on top, because it's confirmation for this man holding the heart. Whatever that is under there. All right, let's do one more. How many fell out here? Well, there's two that fell out here. Okay. Well, let's let that be that then. I'm running out of space here. Okay. This first one, what is one thing I could start doing today to improve the quality of my life? Hold it this way so I'm not going to burn my hand. And there's a moon on there. So maybe this is something that needs to be contemplated. What's one, and you feel free to write these down, take a screenshot, whatever is going to work for you. What is one thing I could start doing today to improve the quality of my life? And if it has anything to do with these cards, you know, if there is, maybe there's a situation that, you know, you're having to change. What did we talk about? Adjust, right? When I was adjusting my phone, maybe there's something that you need to adjust to improve the quality of your life. Maybe it's a boundary that you need to set. Maybe you need to speak up about how you feel, woman holding the heart. Maybe you need to make a decision, and whatever this decision is going to be, it will improve the quality of your life. Maybe somebody out there has some trust issues, you know, and maybe it's causing an issue. Maybe there's somebody that, you know, has left and now they're wanting to come back. And you've got to make a decision on that, you know? All right, here's this one. What do I want most in life? Does it have anything to do with love, the love for yourself? Right? Do you want to be loved? Do you want to be, you know, adored? And what is that saying? We cannot love another, and this is, I never get these sayings right, but it goes something like, we cannot love another until we learn to love ourselves. And if we're not loving ourselves by putting up with things, maybe somebody is not always being truthful or faithful. And if we keep putting up with it because we're scared to leave, maybe, someone is expecting, and so now you feel almost obligated, okay? There's something, because these are talking about, what do you want most in your life? What can you do? What one thing that you can start today? That might be a really good journal prompt for you. One thing that you can start today that is going to improve the quality of your life. It doesn't have to be big. It could be very, very small. Maybe it's not drinking so much coffee, not drinking so much soda, not drinking so much alcohol. Maybe it's not a not, maybe it's getting up a little earlier to exercise. Maybe it's, it could be anything, guys, okay? All right, let's see what this card is. What would I do if I wasn't afraid of failing? And isn't this interesting? This is a woman, because she has her little bun right there. Well, men can have man buns too, but I'm feeling like this is a woman. And it fell right on top of here. So maybe the question is, what would I do if I wasn't afraid of falling or failing? And maybe it has something to do with opening your heart and being open to being in a relationship again. Because I'm telling you, it fell right on there. Well, it was kind of between these two, and this one was indecision. So maybe you're having a hard time making a decision because you're afraid of failing. Maybe you're afraid of getting back into a relationship because the last one that you had failed. Right? But what you need to do in all of these questions here is to first ground yourself. Ground yourself first. Maybe get in your journal and make a list. All the things that you would do if you weren't afraid of failing. The one thing that you want most in your life, and the one thing that you can start to do today to improve the quality of your life. So, this literally could be anything, but I guarantee you there is one person out there who knows exactly what this means for them and the answers to these 3 questions. They know what this reading means. And so I'm hoping that I'm sorry the camera's shaking, if only one person got something out of this, I'll be happy, because it's the person who's going to need it the most. But I'm also hoping that other people, maybe, there's something that you've just kind of shoved in the back of your mind and you just don't want to talk about it. You don't want to feel anything about it. And you just want to forget that it's either happening or it did happen. But that's not going to help you grow very much, okay? I certainly understand sometimes things are really traumatic, and maybe what is traumatic to somebody else, or maybe what's traumatic to us, is not as traumatic to somebody else, but it still matters to us. And even if nobody else understands, you understand, and you should honor what it is that you're feeling. So if you're not ready to address any of this, if it has to do with love or relationship, that's okay. But what you could do is ground yourself a little, just every day. Give yourself 5 minutes to ground yourself. Okay? Get in the earth, touch some plants, be around some plants, nurture your plants, get out in the sun. you know, and just ground yourself, because when you're grounded, you're not making a decision that you're going to regret later, right? Maybe getting grounded means getting in the water. Maybe it means, you know, this doesn't necessarily have to be about love. Maybe there's a relative that that absolutely really hears you and sees you whenever you need to talk. And maybe that's somebody that you know, you can trust to maybe bounce some ideas off. But the whole point of this here is serenity, is you get grounded, go in nature, go, you know, look at the stars, you know, at the moon. But the point is, find what is going to bring you peace. Make a decision that is going to bring you peace. And, you know, journal about it. I don't know what this is for everybody. Let me see if there's anything else that wants to come out of here. Out of this deck that we started with, where this earth magic came from. And if there is, then that'll be confirmation for somebody. And if there's not, that's okay too, because we don't want to push the issue. But I just had this little nudge to go ahead and grab this again. Okay. And I'm hoping that you can see these cards. I'm thinking that you are, from what I could see on my end. We'll get ourselves situated. All right. And this will be the table to where I do some journaling and I do some other projects. And, you know, we'll make some serums and do a little cooking. The power of purpose. Look at that. And it fell sideways, but it was right on earth magic. So I bet you that once you get grounded, there could be something there that has to do with your purpose in all this. It says the power of purpose. So, you know what? I think what I might do for future readings is keep my iPad handy, because I would want to be able right now to look up the power of purpose. And I know my iPad is not charged right now. But isn't it also funny how there's similar colors in here, in these two cards? Do you see that? So, and this right here reminds me of kind of like the Wheel of Fortune. And then there's a target right there too. Do you see that? So, I'm not getting anything else with this. Let me see if there's anything else that comes through. But isn't that funny how it fell right on top of Earth's magic? You know, and that's one of the things that Magically Holistic is about too. It's not only just doing readings, but there's a lot of information that comes through, and I just feel guided to do readings. Okay, so, you know, but it's also about finding your magic, you know, your journey. Going, you know, everybody has a journey, but, you know, don't you also want that journey to be magical in some sort of way? I know I do. You know? All right. Okay. Is being asked to great and full. Great and full. Grateful. Get it? Haha. And this card that fell on top. This card that fell on top of Mother is Broken Open. And it's a lotus flower. And it's your heart. A lot of blue, which is a lot of crown chakra. So, you know, with these cards that fell out from this deck was this. You've got Earth Magic, the Power of Purpose, Broken Open, and Great and Full. What about that? You know? So, I think there's something here, and this next card is a Tall Tale. So maybe there's somebody that is not necessarily being honest with you. It has to do with trust, right? So I don't feel like I'm supposed to leave it here, but I don't, you know, I'm not getting anything else. I mean, I'm just being honest. I think when your heart and your mind are in alignment, when you're grounded, that's when you're going to get your answer to whatever this is right here. And if somebody is telling you a tall tale, you're going to be able to see right through it. Right? And maybe there is somebody in a relationship here that needs to leave, but is afraid that maybe there's somebody here that has not worked in a while because, you know, you've been a mom, you've had a family. And so, and I'm not saying that run out and go leave somebody. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like I'm supposed to tell somebody something, that if there is something here that is not healthy or good for you, that you are supposed to leave a situation, and you are staying because you are afraid that you cannot make it on your own. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay? All right, guys. Oh, I feel like that was just kind of... Oh, let's pick some charms, too. Oh, this is going to be a little bit of a longer one. I didn't want that, but it's supposed to be the way it's supposed to be, guys. All right, let's see. Let me see. Let me put these over here. I'll just grab a few. So there is an octopus. There is a butterfly. And then we have the letters Q and A. So maybe that's it. Maybe you're supposed to have, oh, and there's another little, oh look, it's a little tiny, it's a little cherub. I didn't even see that fall out. So, you know, and this little cherub can mean the little angel if somebody is, you know, going to be a mom. This little cherub can be your, you know, Archangel Michael or any of your spirit team. Okay? But maybe you're supposed to sit down and have a little Q&A with somebody. Oh, you can't even see these. Oh my goodness. Let's put these on this dark one over here. So here's these. I don't know if you can fully see them or not, but okay, note to self, let's go ahead and get some sort of a dark dish to where you'll be able to see this the next time. Here, let me hold these for you so that you can see them, and maybe that'll make a difference. And then there was also Q and A. So maybe you need to sit down and have a question and answer with somebody, right? All right, guys. That's all that I have. Let me know if this resonated with you. And I hope it did for somebody. And I hope that you have a good night. Try not to worry, okay? If you're having an off day, that doesn't mean that every day is going to be off. But I would try to maybe get in your journal and name what you're feeling. And then it might be good for you if you're having an off day and you just can't get grounded. This is really important. This is a good thing to do. Just go outside and use your 5 senses. So see, name one thing that you can see. Name one thing that you can hear. Name one thing that you can touch. Name one thing that you can smell. And name one thing that you can taste. I don't know what you would taste outside, but maybe you're eating an ice cream cone or something like that, you know? But that will help you get grounded so that you can get present, and that might help you. I hope that you get a good night's sleep, and I'm sending you a big, big hug out there, whoever is needing this, and I will talk to you next time.